So how to know when you want to keep a property or actually wholesale a property. So in this video, we'll be actually talking about 3 different scenarios and exploring, okay, which scenario does it make sense to keep a property? When does it make sense to wholesale a property? And when does it really make sense to really maybe dive a little bit deeper and see which decision we need to make? Now, if you're liking this type of content, make sure that you let me know by liking, commenting, and subscribing to this YouTube channel. And now let's get right into the video. So in this first scenario, how we'll actually know when to keep a property with, let's say we get it privately, is really we need to know what our strategy is. So let's say we're looking at a buy and hold. If this property makes sense for us to just buy and hold the property and we can get a good deal out of it, make some cash flow, then why not keep it? Especially if we have financing in place, we have our down payment in place, and we are in a spot in our life where we can take on another rental. Now, an example of this was essentially, I got a property under contract. It was essentially got the purchase price at about 150 grand, and I knew the property was valued at 210,000. So for me to get this property, I would actually be making about 50 grand to buy this house. So I said, hey, why not? It doesn't make sense for me to pass that deal to someone else because I already had the funds ready. I already had a down payment. I already was ready to buy that property. Plus I was gonna make 50 grand on that. Now the second scenario is gonna be, okay, we want to wholesale the property. And how do we know? So here, in the first scenario, we really have to understand what do we want and need as the investor. Now, if we're gonna wholesale the property, we need to understand what does the end buyer want. So I had a scenario where I already had a buyer that wanted just a turnkey buy and hold property. And then for myself, I wasn't really ready to take on another rental. I was already doing a couple deals at the same time. So got the property under contract. Got it for around $190,000. And I had the buyer who was ready to pay $210,000 for it. So I actually met them in the middle, charged them a small fee, and they were able to take the house for $200,000. So I walk away with just under $10,000 for my wholesale fee. They still get a deal that's good because they're still getting $10,000 underneath the value of the property, and I can essentially wholesale the house to them. They get a win because they get a property underneath market value. I get a little bit of a wholesale fee. It's a win-win for everyone, and our seller is able to get rid of the property very quickly. Now the third situation is when you may not be entirely sure of, okay, should I keep this property or should I wholesale the property? And there could be a bunch of reasons. Could be maybe you're not really entirely sure if you can take on another project. Maybe you're doing multiple projects already. Maybe you're doing 2 to 3 at the same time. You don't know if you can handle a 4th. Maybe you have someone that wants to get the property and they want to buy it from you as a wholesale, pay a wholesale fee. But again, you're not entirely sure if you want to pass that to them. So here, it really becomes a strategy and really for you to figure out, okay, what do you need to do? And honestly, the best strategy and best tactic that I have for determining that is just make a pros and cons list. What are the pros if you keep the property? What are the pros if you wholesale the property? What are the cons if you keep it? And what are the cons if you wholesale it to them? And I also want you to think long term. Okay, what's the long-term value of keeping that property, but also what's that long-term value of helping someone else get into a good deal? After you've done that T-chart, that pros and cons list, then you should have a better idea, especially once you put it onto paper. We tend to have a difficult time when we're just thinking about these ideas, but once you put it onto paper, it makes a lot more sense. You get a clear vision of what you need to do, and then you can essentially make a decision from there. Awesome. So if you're interested in learning real estate investing and reaching financial freedom, make sure that you hit the Calendly link below. I do real estate coaching, and I'd love to build you a free real estate roadmap that's personalized to you and your goals. But first, I really need to talk to you and really figure out, okay, what do you need? What areas do you need help on, and how can we improve that area? If you qualify, I'd love to be your mentor. If you don't qualify, well, I'd love to point you to the right direction anyway. So again, hit that Calendly link below, and I hope to see you there. So thanks so much for watching. If you got a ton of value from this video, make sure that you smash that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.